Welcome back to the Deep Dive. And if you've been with us for this entire process, I mean, a huge congratulations is in order.
Absolutely.
Today marks a really big shift. It's the end of your second weekday 14 of this deliberate work on self-love.
Yeah.
You've really hit a critical point of momentum here.
It takes so much honesty, and real courage just to show up for yourself, especially when the work means you have to stand in front of a mirror and confront, well, all of our internalized judgments.
Oh, sure.
And we know from the feedback we get that even after 2 weeks, that initial feeling, maybe feeling a little vulnerable or, a bit silly, that can still be there.
Right.
And that's not a sign you're failing. It's actually a sign that you're pushing past the resistance and getting deep into acceptance.
And that acceptance is the engine, isn't it? It's the whole thing. Our mission today is to just step back and really analyze the huge shift you've engineered over these 14 days. We want to focus on how that internal awareness and the often really challenging inner child work
It is challenging.
and managing fear. How have all those things come together to change the fundamental way you perceive yourself? You've done the exercises, but now we're looking at the results.
Exactly. What are the tangible signs? What are those psychological markers that tell you real change is happening?
Because it's not always this big, dramatic lightning bolt.
Not at all. Sometimes it's subtle. It's just a tiny whisper of resistance where, there used to be a shout. Reviewing where you are now lets you see how far you've really come.
Okay, so let's unpack this. I want to start with what I think is the most revolutionary shift, which is the cognitive one. Taming that inner voice.
Yes.
In the first few days, the mirror is just, well, it's just reflecting your face. But by now, it's become this accountability partner. It's helping you really zero in on how you talk to yourself.
And what limiting beliefs are driving your actions every day?
Exactly. That foundational awareness alone is monumental.
It's the prerequisite. It's the foundation for everything else that comes next. But by day 14, you're not just, passively hearing your own self-talk anymore.
No, you're engaging with it.
You've been practicing the incredibly hard work of spotting those constant automatic inner stories and learning how to actually turn them around into positive affirmations.
And that's not just like a behavioral trope.
Oh, it's neurological reprogramming. You are actively choosing what loops in your mind. You're consciously learning to let go of whatever does not serve you.
That moment, that turning point where you catch the thought and flip the script, that's the real work, isn't it? But here's a friction point I want to explore. The instruction is to transform the inner critic into an admiring fan.
Right.
For so many of us, that critic feels, necessary, like it's a motivator. So how do we make sure this admiring fan isn't just toxic positivity? That it's not just ignoring real things we need to work on?
That is such a crucial distinction to make, and you're right to ask it. The goal is not to become delusional.
Right.
The admiring fan isn't there to ignore reality. It's there to focus on your effort, on your commitment, on your inherent worth.
Okay, so it's about the process, not the outcome.
Precisely. The critic judges the outcome and then it tears you down. The fan, on the other hand, praises and validates the commitment you've made to change, no matter what the result is. It supports the journey.
I love that framing. Firing the critic and hiring the fan.
It's a revolutionary self-support system. It totally changes your daily momentum.
Which leads right into that core principle from this week.
Yeah.
The idea that how you start your day is often how you live your life.
Well, if that admiring fan is the first voice you hear in the morning, you're setting a positive emotional tone before the day's challenges can even get to you.
You're pre-paving your day.
You are. Starting the day with loving thoughts is an immediate investment in your future mental state. You're telling your subconscious, I am worthy of care, I am prioritizing my own healing.
And once you've built that cognitive support system, it frees up so much emotional space for the real heavy lifting.
The inner child work.
Yes, the inner child work we tackled in week 2. And I would argue this emotional integration is probably the single biggest step toward genuine self-love.
I'd agree. We asked you to tackle 2 incredibly brave lessons this week. The first was to just introduce yourself to your inner child. To that little one. Yes, that little one who carries all the emotional weight, all the unmet needs from your past, and to just begin to understand what they're feeling right now.
And the second part was moving beyond just, acknowledging them.
It was about an act of physical and emotional reassurance. Finding time to hold that child in your arms, even if it's just symbolically, and letting them know deep down how safe and loved they are.
I think that physical embodiment, the act of holding, is so critical. It moves the idea out of the abstract mind and, into the body's memory.
Precisely. And that's where the mind-body connection becomes just undeniable. After 14 days, you were starting to notice these subtle shifts because you're discovering how your body literally mirrors your inner thoughts and beliefs.
So it's not just words in a mirror anymore.
No, you're beginning to feed your body the loving nourishment it actually needs, encouraging thoughts that translate directly to physical ease.
And this shift allows you to finally be honest about emotions you felt for a long time. It's fascinating, this breakthrough moment of realizing how good it feels to just express your true emotions.
Even if there are negative ones.
Exactly. Even the negative ones.
That is so important. Emotional expression, even if it's sadness or frustration, is a healing mechanism. It's bottling those feelings up, especially the difficult ones, that creates toxicity.
And it often shows up physically, right?
Right.
Like tension or discomfort.
Absolutely. And we have to acknowledge the immense effort you put into the exercises for releasing anger toward others. That's described as a healing experience that can truly change your life.
Why is that so key for self-love? Releasing anger towards others.
Because holding on to anger it's like drinking poison and expecting the other person to get sick.
Wow.
That anger primarily hurts you, the person holding it. When you let go of that rage, you are performing a radical act of self-care. You're saying, my internal peace is more valuable than holding on to this emotional debt.
And that links right into the other big insight from this week, which is addressing those deep fears you see in the mirror.
The lesson. You are not your fears.
Yes.
If we look at the big picture here, that insight is all about reclaiming your own power. You know, we sometimes define fear as only a limitation of your mind, but it's a bit more than that.
It feels more real than that.
It does, because fear is often this very elaborate story that's based on past pain projected onto a future that hasn't happened. When you stand in the mirror, you are separating yourself, the magnificent you, from the fearful, limiting story your mind is running.
So what does that mean for just making decisions every day?
It means you now understand that your whole operating system works on this fundamental choice. You always have a choice between love and fear.
Love or fear?
Love is expansion, it's acceptance, it's safety. Fear is contraction, resistance, and limitation. You now have the tools from the mirror work to consciously choose love more often, instead of just reacting from that place of old fear.
Which sets us up perfectly for the specific actions for day 14. This final day really culminates in a very specific 5-step exercise.
It does, and it's all centered around that inner child photo to maximize that emotional integration.
Okay, so step 1 is the ritual itself. Finding a photo of yourself as a child when you were truly happy.
Yes. The goal is to capture that essence of pure, vibrant joy. A birthday party, your favorite park, a moment with friends.
But wait a minute. For a lot of listeners, finding a truly happy childhood photo might be, well, impossible. What if their past was really difficult?
That's a fantastic and necessary question. The energy of the moment is what matters, not the physical photo.
Okay.
If a picture isn't available or just brings up painful feelings, you're encouraged to close your eyes and vividly imagine a moment you felt safe and joyful, or even a moment you wished you had felt that way. The purpose is to access the emotional well of self-worth that child represents.
That makes so much more sense. So once you have that emotional connection, you take the photo to the mirror. The third step is powerful. You have a direct conversation with that child. You talk about your true feelings. You identify what's holding you back, and you promise that child how much you want to feel that vibrant, unburdened way again.
The photo becomes a kind of time machine. It unites the present you with the past you. You are literally giving that child the love and validation they might have desperately needed back then.
And this commitment is sealed with a specific set of affirmations. You repeat them 10 times each, right to that child in the photo.
Yes, they are. I am willing to let go of all my fears. I am safe. I love my inner child. I love you. I am happy. I'm content. I am loved.
Very simple, very direct, all focused on safety and acceptance.
Right. But the work doesn't end at the mirror. The second part of day 14 is a really insightful journaling exercise. It's designed for self-assessment.
It forces a comparison. You start by looking back at your journal from day 7 a week ago. Then you write down how you're feeling now on day 14.
Are the exercises getting any easier? Do you feel more comfortable looking into your own eyes?
That comparison is so valuable.
Yeah.
Because it proves to your own skeptical mind that progress is real, even if it feels subtle.
But the real depth comes in the next step, identifying your areas of success. But also, and this is key, pinpointing where you're having the most trouble.
And this is the moment where you really switch from being a student to being your own guide.
Absolutely. For those areas where you still feel blocked, maybe it's forgiveness, maybe a specific belief about money or relationships, you create a new custom mirror work exercise.
Their own personalized affirmations.
Exactly, tailored to dismantle that specific resistance. You shift from just following instructions to creating your own healing path.
That power of creation is so central to the Day 14 Heart Thought. The core belief for today just encapsulates the whole 2 weeks. I am willing to see only my magnificence.
And this isn't just a passive affirmation of worth. It demands a really active, radical action.
Refusal.
Refusal. It's a deep commitment to eliminate every single negative, destructive, fearful idea from your mind. You're setting a whole new standard for your internal world.
So this means refusing to indulge in damaging emotions, no matter how justified they may seem to be. The source material actually says to commit to rising above anything that tries to make you angry or afraid. That is a huge mental lift. Why refuse justified anger?
Because the justification is the trap. The initial feeling might be valid, but indulging in it, letting it stay, keeps you psychologically chained to whatever that past event was.
So it's about self-liberation.
It is. You are asserting that your internal world is sovereign. You refuse to let external events dictate your state of being.
That sense of empowerment flows right into the final meditation for the day, feeling your own power. What specific powers are we talking about here?
The meditation focuses on the internal tools you've been cultivating. You're encouraged to embrace the power of your breath, which keeps you in the present moment. The power of your voice, which defines your reality. The power of your love, which is infinite. The power of your forgiveness, which sets you free. And maybe most importantly, the power of your willingness to change. That's the ignition switch.
That is a complete internal toolkit. And the final promise that's reiterated in that meditation really seals the deal on your self-worth.
The promise is foundational. It is. You are a divine, magnificent being. You deserve all good. Not just some good, but all good.
It's a complete rejection of the idea that you have to settle for less.
You are one with the power that created you.
So after these 14 days, you've moved past that initial awkwardness and landed in a place of radical self-acceptance. You're affirming, here I am, world, open and receptive to all the wonderful things that this mirror work is teaching me.
The synthesis is clear. Destructive thoughts have no real power over you unless you give it to them. You now think and say only what you want to create. You are safe. All is well in your world because you are actively choosing for it to be.
That is a profound place to be at the end of week 2. Thank you for this deep dive. Now for the final thought we want to leave you with, building on that mind-body connection we talked about. If your body truly mirrors your inner thoughts, what previously unnoticed recurring physical discomfort, maybe it's a tension headache, a knot in your shoulder, chronic fatigue, is actually a direct reflection of a fearful thought you identified in your journal. And what single custom affirmation could you create right now to begin changing both the thought and the physical mirror it creates?
Continue observing, continue healing. We look forward to seeing the incredible changes week 3 brings. We'll see you soon for the next deep dive.